Pongalo Pongal. This is the modern version of Pongalo Pongal. Hello everyone, welcome to Kavi's Corner. Let's make a beautiful Akkarai Vadisal today. This is a combination between a rice pudding and Sakara Pongal. This is usually done in India during the harvest festival and especially during the months of December to January or July to August. This is only done a couple of times in a year. So it is high calorie, very dense in flavor, and you have to try this. So let's get started with making our Akkarai Vadisal. Traditionally, Akkarai Vadisal is done in bronze pots or mud pots over wood burning stoves. But today in modern world, we're going to try to do it in a pressure cooker on gas stove. And for Akkarai Vadisal, the only difference between Sakara Pongal and this is we cook this entirely in milk, but because we're using pressure cooker, I'm going to add 2 cups of water as well. So let's go ahead and go through our ingredients. We have 2 cups of rice and half a cup of moong dal or siruparuppu, and this has to be roasted lightly. So for 2 cups of rice, we're going to use 2 cups of ghee. That is the formula. So don't skimp on ghee for this recipe. And we're going to add about 6 cups or 2 pounds of jaggery. And I'm not going to crush it or anything. I'm going to add it whole, but you can crush it again. And this is lactose-free milk, but usually people use whole milk. And but we are lactose intolerant, so that's what I'm going with. And we have about 1 cup of cashew nuts and half a cup of raisins. And we're going to add flavoring ingredients of cardamom powder. This is green cardamom that I've crushed and put it in a container. I'm almost out of it. And this is pacha karupram or edible camphor. We're going to use about a pinch of it crushed up. And then this is saffron. So we're going to add 2 pinches of saffron. Don't skimp on these flavoring ingredients. And as usual, a pinch of salt, which I haven't shown yet. So we're going to add that as well. So let's get started. I have 2 bowls on the stove. Let's first turn on the small bowl to melt our jaggery and the other one to fry our moong dal. So turn on the stove and add about 1 cup of water and let it heat slightly, and we're going to add in our jaggery. The whole chunk goes in. It's going to melt very fast. You'll be surprised. So don't worry, you can crush it up if you want. And let's heat up the other pan and roast a half a cup of moong dal. So our jaggery has melted completely. Let's turn off that stove. We'll let our jaggery cool down a little bit. Now let's turn on another pan. And we're going to fry up cashew nuts in 1 cup of the ghee. This is actually 2 cups here. I'm just going to pour half of it. This is homemade clarified butter. And this recipe needs as much butter as you can put. The more the butter, the better. I mean, clarified butter. And my grandma would say the ghee has to drip from your elbows while you eat this Akkarai Vadisal. So be aware, this is not a health food and this is only done twice a year. Just so this is high calories. Okay, so be aware and eat responsibly. So once the oil heats up, I'm going to add my cashews. It's about 1 cup of cashew nuts. And my grandma also said each bite there should be a cashew nut. Okay, Akkarai Vadisal is not Akkarai Vadisal if you don't get a cashew nut or a raisin in each bite. So plenty of it, okay? So this is a cost, if you know, quite an expensive product. So let's toss in our cashews. And don't let it brown, okay? Lightly roast, and then we'll add our raisins once this catches a little color, because the raisins will burn very fast. So don't add both together. Always separate them out. Let the cashews get a little color, and we'll dump the raisins. Our cashews are getting color a little bit. Let's go add our raisins. See how beautiful they have. All the raisins are ballooned up, and the cashews are well roasted. Pongal. This is the modern version of Pongal. And that's our 8th whistle. We'll turn off the stove and let it depressurize on its own. I guess pouring milk in the pressure cooker is not a wise idea. Look at the mess it made. But this is life. We are living life and learning. So be aware when you cook it. Make sure you have a deep pot and just do it over the stove. But this is the fastest method that I know. So let's go. So my pressure cooker has depressurized. Okay, let's open and see the mess. Ready for the reveal. Ta-da! Oh, it did work. Okay, I don't know what this mess is about, but let's go ahead and mush it up. Mush up the rice while it's still hot. First, I'm going to come in and dig out that spoon. Oh, it's hot. And now let's go ahead and mush it up as much as possible. That's why we added less milk and water, because we didn't want to overflow and overwhelm the rice cooker. There's a limit how much water you can pour. So once we mush it up, we'll add our milk. Let's add 3 cups of milk. This is 2 and this is 3. So totally 8 cups of liquid. Let's first mix this together, and then we'll turn the stove back on. And now the trick is, as the dal and the rice cook, we're going to keep adding more liquid and ghee alternatively, and this will cook further in the milk alone. Don't add any more water. We're done with the water process. This is basically going to cook in milk. That's what makes this Akkarai Vadisal special than Sakra Pongal. The main way to distinguish. Okay, let's turn on the stove. And let's add some ghee. This is the first batch of ghee I'm going to add. So add about half a cup to 3/4 cups, and we'll add the rest as we need. And I won't do what my grandma would do. Add so much ghee that the ghee comes down your elbows while you eat with hands. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more cups of milk, because it looks super dry. So it depends on the rice you're using. I'm using Sona Masuri rice. It does absorb a lot of liquid. And you want the Akkarai Vadisal to thicken as it cooks. So since it was too tight already, I added extra 2 cups. So this is total 10 cups of liquid. Now you steer your life away, because if you stop, it's going to catch at the bottom. So always keep it on a medium-low heat while you're working on this. And now let's pour our jaggery syrup. I'm going to filter and pour it. Sometimes the jaggery has all kinds of impurities. This will eliminate and give you a dust-free liquid. So pour a little bit and give it a stir. You don't want the milk curdling. Add little by little. And always add cold jaggery syrup. Let's go ahead and add the rest. Let's add all our flavoring ingredients: cardamom powder, saffron, and this is edible camphor called Pachai Karpuram in Tamil, and you just crush it up and add just between your fingers. Make it into a powder and add. This adds the real heavenly flavor to this recipe. Please don't skimp on it. Now let's give it a good stir. Go ahead and add some more ghee. This is again homemade ghee, so all the sediments are good, but I'm going to try to not add that. Just the entire thing. And give it a good stir. Add milk as necessary. You will need more milk depending on the rice, okay? I know I'm repeating again and again, and there's always a rule for this. The amount of rice you add is the amount of ghee it takes. And 8 cups of liquid, but today we've added 10, then I added some more, so probably 11 to 12 depending on the rice. Okay, and I held some syrup back. I will add it back in case I need it. Okay, right now it is just perfect. Enjoy your Akkarai Vadisal. This is a great delicacy during the months of December to January, and it's always done on the harvest festival in some parts of India, and it's basically for this festival called Pongal. And when the milk boils over, everybody shouts Pongal, oh Pongal. It's always the first harvest, mainly for the farmers and all the laborers at the fields. This is really enjoyed as a thanks to all the farmers in our country. So enjoy this Pongal with some Akkarai Vadisal instead of a regular Sakra Pongal. Okay. Our Akkarai Vadisal is almost complete. Let's go ahead and add our cashews, the rest of the ghee and the raisin. After almost an hour, our Akkarai Vadisal is done. All you need to do is manage the time by melting the jaggery and frying up your cashews and raisins ahead of time. And also, if you can soak the rice and the dal after frying, it's even better. And once it's pressure cooked, it's an easy peasy recipe. So please do try and let me know what you think about this recipe. And I know my grandma is smiling in the heavens and appreciating her next generation carrying her tradition. Let's give it a try. Just so creamy, really decadent. You've got to try this, guys. Like, share and subscribe to Kavi's Corner for more such videos, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.